My name is Scott Price, and this is my daughter Victoria. She's 15 years old and a freshman at Andover High School. Victoria's diagnosis is cerebral palsy. She's known as a spastic quad, and she has very limited use of her arms and legs and uses her power chair with her head. The first time we ever did anything with standing was in preschool. They had, at that time, they had a Rifton stander, and it was a supine stander that they put her in, and that's what they did at school, and we didn't have anything at home. And once we got out of preschool, they didn't do much at school, so then we pursued our own standing through the therapists at Gillette Hospital, and they did an evaluation, and we determined that a stander where we could actually get her up was easier than putting her in a supine stander because that was too much work for us. Victoria got this stander paid for through her insurance. The therapist took the time to write up the letter of medical necessity, and we gave them the input that we could from home in terms of how we thought it would benefit her. And through some trials, we actually had to do a trial. We were able to determine that that was a good thing for her and how it would help her. Some of the health benefits that we've noticed are things like stronger muscles in her legs. When we go to get her braces adjusted, the orthotists will comment that she must be in a stander. They can tell by looking at her legs, so they're very impressed that they can see that. And the other thing that's really a great benefit for her is that she remains regular in her bowel program, which is a thing that you don't really expect, but it's really a helpful thing for her. I think one of the psychological benefits might be when she's actually doing something like baking, because when you're baking in the kitchen, you're standing, and so she's sort of used to being up in the stander and working with mom or one of her aides, and she's at their level. The other thing that's really helpful for her is that she likes to change her position. If you're in a chair all day long, it gets old and she gets tired of that, so she actually asks to be in her stander. So I think that by being in her stander, it helps her not only change her body, but sort of her frame of mind of how she's feeling about her day. Vicky's current standing program involves about an hour or more, depending on how long she can tolerate after school. She comes home every day and we get her off the bus, and if she has homework, she might get up in her stander and work on her homework, or she might play games with her little brothers, or even with me if no little brothers are available. And then one of her favorite activities is to bake. So if we're not doing any of the games, she'll get out some baking and make us some really good food. Some of the other things that Victoria does is she goes to horse therapy in the summer and the fall. She loves to get up on a horse. Once a week, she goes out to a ranch and they get her up on the horse and they walk her for about an hour, and she looks forward to that every week, and it helps loosen up her tone. And she also has a service dog. We've had a service dog now for about a year and a half. Can you wait a minute? We've had a service dog now for about a year and a half. His name is Hajik, and he helps her by opening and closing doors, picking things up off the floor. He will also calm her in places where things are kind of boring, maybe school or going to church. He helps keep her calm. Hajik, here, up. Come on, up. That's it, good boy. He's her constant companion, and his technical name is that he's a skilled companion, so in addition to all of the tasks that he does for her, he facilitates communication with people in public, because people don't generally talk to a person in a wheelchair, but if there's a dog, people love to come up and pet the dog, so we make them talk to her and ask her if they can pet the dog, and then he facilitates those communications that way.
Okay, here we are in Andover, Minnesota at the Andover Lanes, and I'm here with Scott Price and Vicki Price, and we're bowling out of a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it, Scott?
Well, Victoria has the I-CAN bowling arm, and she uses that, which attaches to the front of her chair.
I see it snaps onto the wheelchair with these two clamps, not real tough.
Nope, and then just a couple of alignments. They've got a couple of levels here set so that you can make sure that it's level, and you're ready to go in about 30 seconds.
And I understand that your bowling team helped you buy this little bowling piece.
We did the research over the winter on the internet and found the ICANN bowling arm and asked the bowling coach if the team could help us out, and she did some research, checked out with her supervisor, and found out that they would purchase it, and they're letting us use it during the off season. She drives her power chair with her head, and when she takes the chair down the lanes towards the pin, the momentum of the ball going, when the chair stops, takes the ball down the ramp and towards the pins.
So, let's kind of get a look at it. Actually, the ball sits up here, she'll move the chair, and then when she stops the chair, it'll rip down the chute and down the lane, and so she can actually kind of angle the chair to get a guided shot.
She can.
Now, she can run the chair, or you can run the chair.
Victoria's chair can be driven either by an attendant, and so I can drive and help her get lined up, or she can drive it herself if we set it to the proper mode, and then she can drive, and she's the one that actually drives the chair down towards the pins.
And how's she doing that? How is she driving the chair?
Victoria drives her chair with her head array, so she uses this pad here to either go forward or reverse, and when she's driving her own chair, she uses the side pads to turn. But right now, she can't quite do the side turning, so we just allow her to drive towards the pins.
Amazing.
Is there anything else that you can think of that we should tell them since you've got your wheels a-turning? Yeah, I don't think they care about that. She said that your teachers are going to have a baby, but that's not what they're after here, kiddo. But that is important to you, isn't it? Yeah.